Okay. Um, my name is Peter, and I was introduced to this project in June 2022. A friend of mine called me up and said, there's a brilliant way to make money. You need to buy a fish for $1,500. And everybody said it's a good investment. And this is not an investment seminar. So I like everyone to just take it as my personal experience, do your own due diligence, and check it out for yourself. All the data that I will provide today. But the bottom line is, all my life I was working most of the time for myself, and this is how I made my money, any money that I made. So when he called me up and talked about quote unquote an investment opportunity, this was very far from my understanding of anything, because I was never an investor. I was a very short period of time of my life, a person that was working a job. I don't have a per se education to become a self-employed in a lot of cases. So the things that I did was pretty much running different type of businesses. And when I got an information about an investment, I remember a book of Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And I remember the book Cash Flow Quadrant from about year 2000. And I remember, so the part about investment was totally not for me. I was trusting myself on a custody of the ideas and implementing them in real life. So this was something different. But we all know that people that are investing and they have good investments from a point of view of whatever, real estate or stocks, they eventually make a lot of money. So I kind of knew, so it was a way to go. But on the other hand, I had no experience and no idea how actually to use it. And I am old enough to remember 2000, year 2000, when there was a very big boom on internet companies. A lot of people made a lot of money. A lot of people lost a lot of money. But we all use internet today, and we kind of can't live without it. So let's put it this way. One way or the other, for some people, it did work. And when I looked at the money that was made in investment in stocks like Apple, like Microsoft, like Amazon, Alphabet, which is Google, and NVIDIA, you can see, so pretty much if somebody got started fairly early, had opportunity to make a lot of money. All those companies are, as you can see, close to 50 years old or 30 years old. So there was a lot of time passed by, but eventually anybody who trusted that those companies going to be big made money. But the key thing is that I think it's important. I'm talking about high-tech companies. I'm talking about the largest companies in the world, the Miracle Five, as they call it, plus Tesla. And why those companies are, from my point of view, important for today's webinar. Because companies like Microsoft and Apple, and later on Alphabet, which is Google, provide a certain rails, provide a certain way of infrastructure, building an infrastructure, which eventually thousands of other companies were built on. So they provided a way that the people could use the internet in a fashion, in a way that was useful. And when you look at those companies, you know, the Microsoft had the better days and not so good days and everybody else. But the bottom line is, if you look at today, the phone or the computer, and you look how many different applications you have, you kind of get the feeling like there's a lot of companies that, because of those rails, build a lot of fortunes. The company like Amazon could not exist if there was no basic structure of internet. The same goes for eBay, and the same goes for Facebook and a lot of other companies. So um, so this happened many years ago, and I don't know if this is a good or bad time to invest in those companies, but I know that life is going on and it changes all the time, and I know there are new things coming. And in January 10th, 2024, something really important happened. Why? Because there is an asset which called Bitcoin that people were kind of very skeptical about. Most people still are, but in the beginning, everybody ignored it. Then they kind of laughed at it. That's something for an idiot. Then they start to fight. I mean, you can't make the money private. You can't do it. This is going to be illegal. They're going to shut you up. And finally, on January 10th, there was a ETF in the United States by, I think, 12 different huge companies, including Fidelity and BlackRock, that kind of put a stamp of approval of a value of Bitcoin. I am not saying it does have a value or it doesn't. It's a personal opinion of everybody, but at least it's got into the what it's called a TradFi. It got to the point where something is accepted by financial institutions as having a value. And we know that there are stocks that had the value and it went down to zero. And I am not saying that the Bitcoin won't. I am just giving you an idea of the time and the history that we are in. And the Bitcoin is a little bit like a gold. I mean, it doesn't have that much uses. I mean, we can live without the jewelry, and the Bitcoin can be replaced a lot of times with a lot of stuff like for electronics. It's used there, but from what I understand, about 90% of the gold that is right now put new on the market, it goes to the vaults. It's just a store of value. It doesn't really become something useful for society, except just to be a store of value. And it kind of Bitcoin a lot of times is point out to be a new gold. It's a matter of perception. But the other three ideas that I'm going to talk about, which is a BNB, Ethereum, and Solana, it's like the rails. It's like building the infrastructure for something new. Okay, just like in the beginning, the new thing was the internet and computers and everything else. That now today, those three, I don't know, projects, let's call them projects, are giving a new infrastructure for the new internet. Now, the difference is we all can become the owners of it. It's an early stage, and we all can become, in some way, part owners of those things. And we don't know exactly which one going to win and which one going to lose. We don't know that. And that's why I like Project Metfi, because it doesn't point out exactly this is going to win or this is going to lose. It points out that if you have a diversified view of things, you have a better shot at really saving your money for the future. Metfi is a DAO. What's a DAO? It's a kind of a community built on this rails of an internet on a smart chain, BNB smart chain, and this community, it's built on something that is called a smart contracts, which gives us a security of ownership on one side, and all the transactions of inflow of any type of assets, which is crypto assets, USDT or whatever, it's controlled 100% by the way of those smart contracts, and everything that it has to do with outflow of those assets in exchange for something else, or service or investment, it's decided by votes. And there was 73 votes by now, and we are about 28,000 members, and it works. That's the bottom line. And there's the DAO is becoming more and more popular as a concept, and we are one of those communities that are decided to do a business together. Why does it make sense or not make sense to build an investment community together? Well, there's a different reasons for it. One of the reasons is that a lot of investments are big, and most of the people that I know cannot afford to be an investor in those big things. The second thing is, most of us as a community are ignorant about it. So we really just floating with the people that know something more than we do. And the third thing is that only big investors can get into projects on the early stage in a lot of cases. So they don't want the small investors in the stage of developing the projects. They want investors with the thousands or hundreds thousands of dollars, and we can provide that capital to get started. So let's see what makes me secure with within this project. Well, one of the first things that we did, we spent money that we kind of put up to investment to check if those smart contracts, if those things that are written in something that is called white paper is really true. Is this something that we can trust? And there's a company named Certic that is specializing in auditing a blockchain, and they're auditing all the changes that we have within our community, with our DAO, and they give us a good stamp of approval. We're one of the top 10% safest projects in the world. And that makes me feel a little bit more secure, because I know that the people that developed it cannot steal the money from us. We still have a lot of risks from a point of view that maybe we will not buy the things that we should do, or we will not invest in the projects that will be the best on the market. But on the other hand, at least we have a shot at getting something done right, and we feel way more secure. Now let's start it from the beginning of the internet. Well, the internet was about 30 years old when it became commercial in 1992. And if you were old enough to start using internet, you needed a browser. Mozilla, which is a Firefox right now, then Internet Explorer, then Opera, then Safari and Google, Chrome, and many others. But this internet was basically just kind of watch and read only. It was just a one-way internet. It replaces maybe newspapers, or replaces maybe a little bit a TV channels, or a lot of stuff like that. But it was not something that was very interactive. Now, the second part of the internet, it's about 2003. That's a Web 2, which is a social media internet. We start using the first introduction of it was Skype. And then there was WhatsApp and Facebook and Vkontakte and a bunch of other stuff, YouTube. And we use all this stuff right now. Twitter, which is X right now, we all use all those applications. If you look at your phone and you see how many applications you have, this is most of it. It's a Web 2 internet. So this is an application-driven internet. It doesn't really require a browser. It's just an application that connects you to the world and connects you to particular people in a real time. We are right now recording this on Zoom, If you lie at the live meeting, that's super. But if you're going to watch this eventually as a recording, it was recorded on Zoom, which is a typical Web 2 project. Now, Web 3 project, it's a little bit different concept. It's a concept of value. Now, if something has a value, have to be accounted for, and Web3, it's all about accounting. It's all about trading a value, moving a value, giving a value. It's all about sharing something that is worth something. Okay, and those concepts that you've seen, like a Bitcoin, it's an idea that people can exchange and can give a value to it. Okay, and the same goes for anything that you can see in the Web3. So this is a different concept. Now, in this internet, what you need a wallet. Why? Because a wallet, it's something that stores the value. If you have your wallet in your pocket, it's something that you put your money in. It's something that you put your credit cards in. You put in a wallet things that have value for you, and you can exchange it with other people. So why it's called decentralized? Why? Because it's not owned by a particular company. It's spread out. Anybody in the world can own a part of it. It's a different idea. It's an idea of ownership of human beings all around the world, of things that they use. So if you look at yourself, and you can look at companies like Microsoft and Apple and Google, you use their products, you use their concepts. Most of them are software, and some people own them. Okay, and most of us are not those people. So we had a hard time to be grasp an ownership of Apple, or grasp an ownership. Right now it's easier, but maybe it's a spill milk. But Web3 is all about ownership. Now, if you think about ownership, you think about transferring value, you think about money. That's the first thing that comes to your mind. Now, if you meet somebody, you can give them cash, and that's easy. That's a good transfer. But if you have a distance, you till now needed somebody in between. You needed a bank to account who has it and who doesn't, because there's a limited amount of dollars, euros. Of course, they're printed all the time, but at one point, there's only limited amount of value in those currencies. So when you transfer, somebody has to give it up what they have, so you can have what they give it to you. And the banks do the accounting. Now, this is the whole concept of something that is in between. Now, when you're talking about the change in a way of thinking, it's Bitcoin. It's something that is doing it by itself. It's done a different way. A grandfather of all cryptocurrencies is self-sufficient. The blockchain is a self-sufficient system that a lot of people are making a little bit of money, or a lot of money, depends how big facilities they have, on validating transactions on a blockchain, and it works. The bottom line is, if it's a proof of work concept and it works, it's a proof that the concept works. Because if you look at the Bitcoin, it started in 2008. It's going to be 21 million altogether. There's a lot of different things that people talk about, if it's worth it or not. But right now, if you want to buy it, you have to pay about $72,000 per unit. If you want to sell it, you can get that money out. And most of the Bitcoins are already mined. And there is about 4 million Bitcoins lost. Why? Because they were cheap. So in the beginning, when this thing had no value, people were losing it. And right now, they're trying to find it. It's not so easy. They lost the keys. They lost this. They lost something. They put the computer into junkyard, and there were Bitcoins on it. And right now, we can transact this way with a lot of different cryptocurrencies or tokens or value on a blockchain using a wallet like a MetaMask that we kind of got used to. There's a lot of different wallets, and there's a Bitcoin and there's Ethereum and there's a lot of different things, and there's something called Metfi, and I'm going to talk about this particular concept. Now, Metfi is traded on the different exchanges, and the value of the tokens gonna be growing at the point that the token's gonna be worth more and more and more. Why? Because in the beginning, just like with the Bitcoin, we created a lot of tokens and there was no value behind it. Okay, so in the beginning, just like a Bitcoin, we were just doing tokens and making tokens, and it was great. You know, everybody had a lot of tokens, but there were pretty much nothing was backing those tokens up. Now, when we start doing investments as a DAO, as a community, those tokens became more and more valuable. And at a certain point, we're going to cross those lines because we thanks to the system that we implemented, that there's less and less tokens made as the times go by, but the value of the treasury is growing because it depends on the investment we make. And this is how the token's gonna eventually grow in value. From the first day of the concept, the token was on exchanges. You can get the tokens in exchange on the different cryptocurrencies. And we are on the big exchanges, the tier one exchanges, where you can exchange money, fiat money, euro, dollars, whatever, for our tokens. So anybody can get the tokens and speculate on their value. So if any of the people that watch this and they kind of interested in it, they kind of look at it and, wow, I'm going to get a few dollars into a Metfi token. I think it's a brilliant idea. You know, you can go to exchange and get yourself in your wallet a Metfi tokens, and you can speculate eventually how the token going to rise in price. And I think this is a good idea, and this is how far most people understand generally a crypto world, the world of the tokens and the world of the cryptocurrencies. They understand, so if something will go up in value, they will have a more value in their wallet and they can exchange it for something else, whatever, the dollars, euro, and whatever. But as a DAO, we have another concept built into it, which is a very interesting concept. And when I got the first phone call about it, and the guy said to buy a fish for $1,500, I didn't understand any of it. I had to learn about all those things in the crypto world. So if you understand it, congratulations. If you don't understand it, don't worry about it. I was just a dumbbell, like most of the people that I speak with. But NFT, it's a non-fungible token. It's something that is one of a kind and not duplicated. It's something that is everyone, it's different. It's not something like Bitcoin that you can exchange one for another. It's something that it's one unique one. And we are built on a system that has NFTs, and all of us, besides the tokens, can get an NFT. And this NFT, it's not something that you collect. It's not like a post office stamp like we have in Poland NFT. It's not something that is like a monkey or whatever, a picture of something that you buy and hope to grow in value. It's something that is a useful NFT. It's a technical NFT. It's more like buying a software. And when when you talk about the project of Metfi DAO, you need this software if you want to become a voting partner, and you need this software if you want to really make good money on the investment we make. And we already proved that we made good investments because they grow in value. So we have a bunch of stuff that we put our hard-earned, hard put into it, money into it, and we have investments that already have more value that we bought, like Big Time and like Sandbox. And we have the rails that I was talking about. We have the Bitcoin. I'm sorry. Let me go back. We have the Bitcoin, we have the BNB, the Ethereum, and the Sol. And those are the three rails that I was showing you before. So this is the infrastructure for the future internet. And we have the software investments that on those rails have a shot at becoming a big project. So on one side, we have something like, quote unquote, a Microsoft or Google or Apple. And on the other side, we have something like the gaming that you see right now in the different industries. And this is the software combination that it is. And like I said, we're very early in the market, and we still have some investment money free to invest, and we have the opportunity to use it for our to achieve our goals. Now, why do we think people that are joining the Metfi DAO will make money? Well, we based it on general knowledge that is right now about the potential growth of the Web3. If you don't know what's a Web3, that's great. Why? Because this is something that you learned today about, and you can research and see what it is, metaverse and AI. So this is the type of projects, software projects, that we are basically looking at as our investments. Now, there's a lot of articles in the newspapers, in the magazines. You can find a lot on the internet. You just research yourself. What's a Web3? What's a metaverse? What's AI? What's the potential for growth? And if we're gonna invest on the average in the projects that are average projects, this is the results we should get within the next 6 to 7 years. So I think it's a good shot for us. Now, when I was looking at it first time, I didn't understand any of it. But on the other hand, I was willing to research and check it out and see what's happening. Now, those are the NFTs that we have. Well, are they good looking? It's a matter of taste. They're all creatures live under in water, and they have different prices. The shrimp is $100, and the humpback is $100,000. And what they do is they're responsible for multiplying the tokens that you own. So you are like when you are within a DAO, and you are not only holding the tokens, but you're talking the NFT. You not only have the tokens, but you have the kind of a way to multiply the number of tokens you have. The price of the token is going to be decided on the market, but the number of tokens you're going to have, it's decided about how deep in your pocket you're going to dive to invest in this NFTs, in those concepts of multiplying your tokens. So if you want an example of how this works in time, is if somebody started way in the beginning and had one token and bought the shrimp, right now he will have a 3.51 tokens. If he had 1,000 tokens, he will have 3,510 tokens. But if he bought a humpback, he will have a 77 tokens for every one he had in the beginning. So you can see, so every single NFT, every single contract is giving you a different opportunity. Now, when you want to get involved in this project, you have to find out how much you should own tokens and how much you should invest in your NFT. And this is not something that anybody knows right off the bat to give you an answer, but it's something that you can look in the system and you can kind of get a feeling of it, what you're going to do. In some countries where there's very little support for older people, it's that they don't have good retirement plans. A lot of people get involved in this project and they buy themselves a big NFT as they can, and every month they buy the tokens. And it's called in this world staking, and stake it to this NFT. So this way they have the money for the future, that someday when they are not capable of working, they will have a nest egg of money that they can get from the system, from Metfi, to live off without going to work. Some people have a lot of money in the beginning, so they just multiply their money. Some people just want to, invest and forget it. Everybody is different, but the bottom line is, when you decide to join the Metfi DAO, you kind of share your potential USDT value between the tokens and the contracts, which is the contracts is the NFT. Now, the higher the NFT you have, the faster it grows, the more it's going to multiply, the more you're going to have. And like I said, the person that invited you to listen to this, or the person that invited you to be at the meeting, they will give you help, how to do it. It's like a magic piggy bank. You put your tokens inside and they multiply. Okay, so it's not only putting this money as a saving, but it's a multiplication, which is, as far as I can see, doing way better than a banking system offers right now as you're putting money in a bank. Now, when somebody buys an NFT, okay, that's their decision of how they see your participation within this project and how they see a potential of value within a time. Okay, in the beginning, we didn't know if this is safe, if it's going to last a year or 2 years. Nobody knew. But right now, after close to 2 years on the market, we understand more of it. We know it's a dependable system. So we know we can look long term. Okay. When we're looking long term, we make different decisions that if we look at the short term, we have to do something for months and take the money out. It's a different decisions, right? Now, this is a long term, but anybody that buys an NFT, the contract, the value that is paid for it, it's split it in three parts. One part is the tokens, and everybody who is getting an NFT gets 10% in tokens. So even if they don't buy extra tokens, they at least have a 10% of the value of the NFT in tokens. Part of the money, part of this value goes to the treasury for the investments. And this is how our treasury grows from a point of view of potential investment cash. And the third one is a commission. The commission is the most, I would call it, controversial part. Why? Because a lot of people, when they see the commission, they kind of wonder, well, if there was no commission, there would be more money in treasury. And that's true. But on the other hand, if there was no commission, probably I wouldn't do the Zoom and I would not spend the time with the people to show them how it works and what to do with it. So the commission is a good part of this. And the person that invited you here, or whoever is sharing this, will get a 5% commission on the value NFT you buy. And they pretty much get almost no commission on the tokens that you buy. So this is just the way it works. Okay, so the value of the project right now counting about $2 per one token. Right now, it's a little bit lower, so it's a good time to buy, but it's about $200 million. Now, think about it. The project started with nothing in May of 2022. Nobody had a clue what to do with it. And we still managed to get the value of the tokens to $200 million. It's not bad. It's maybe not a billion, but it's a good start, I would say, within 2 years. Now, in that time, that's about $29 million paid in commissions. Okay, why? Well, because some people don't have the money to buy themselves enough tokens. They don't have enough money to get the NFT they would like to have. And if they share the idea, they will get the money so they can upgrade their NFT. They can get the value that they can get the new tokens. So the system is helping the people that don't have much money to become a little bit more affluent within that system. Now, because we are not in this project as with the KYC, so we don't know each other really unless we make an effort to do so. So in 2022, in November, we decided to meet, and we went to South Africa, and two people from our market, from Poland, decided to go, and there were people from Austria and Germany and Morocco and Thailand and other places, and they came to South Africa, and we met and we spoke and we kind of talk about it, what's going to happen. And some of those people stayed with the project, some people left. But the bottom line is, we kind of get the feeling of the people joining this particular DAO. Then we had a meeting in Poland, and then we went to Thailand. Was more of us. The Italian group came in, young kids, very, very motivated, so we had a lot of people in our team, with the proper age. But we look at the Italians, the young people are doing that too. That was fun. There was something else. Then we went to Dubai on the first official Ocean Summit. And in Dubai, we met again. There were some people that were in all three trips. And we had some training sessions and a lot of fun. And it was fun, basically. And right now, we are preparing to go in May to Turkey. Now, we still have some tickets left. So if you are open to come with us, super. It's May 18 to 21st. It's the second anniversary of creating of Metfi DAO, and I think it's worthwhile to meet the people, not only on a Zoom, but in real life. So to make a point of all this, what I was talking about. Well, the first thing is, if you have a little bit of money that you can risk, from a point of view that if you make more, you're going to be happy. If anything happens, you're not going to kill yourself. You're not going to cry. It's just something that you can learn along the way. I think it's a brilliant idea just to join it, to learn about the concepts that I'm talking about, if you don't know much about it. Now, if you are already a little bit knowledgeable about the concept about the blockchain and all this stuff, I mean, you can research this. There's a web page with the statistics. You can ask a lot of questions, and you can join it and become one of the main guys, the main people in that project. Why? Because we are early on, and we're looking for people that will drive these projects to the moon, as they say. And in the meantime, we're gonna do the things that we do. We're gonna spread the idea. We're gonna vote for next investments. We're gonna go to the next trip, and we're gonna just enjoy our life. we're gonna be living with the Metfi behind us from a point of view of a better future, and this is what we think about. Our projects are very highly rated in business press. One of those projects is a meta quiz. We had the meta bid that is created by our team. So those projects are very highly valued on a market. And the projects that we invest in are well recognized project with the community of crypto world. So we feel very secure. But for you to feel very secure, it's just a mindset. It's not how much money you have. It's not how much education you have. It's not how hard you work in life or whatever. It's just a mindset. For some people, this is an opportunity that they don't want to miss. And for some people, this is something that it just doesn't ring the bell. It's not their cup of tea, and that's fine. But we're looking for people that will join us, that will build a DAO as big as we can in our lifetime. And from that perspective, you're more than welcome to join us, and you're more than welcome to build the DAO, Metfi DAO, together, and to become the largest and the best, the most profitable community in the crypto world. Thank you very much.